tell by the way he wields his axe, he's an angry man. No need to ask. The dragon stalks into the hall, and a hateful look upon his face does haul. Harshnag tells us to run away. We'll meet outside, it'll be okay. We hobbled out, the temple falls. We hear the sound of anguished calls. He smashes up the statue and the temple is attached to, and he's buried alive, buried alive. A shower of rubble, the dragon is in trouble, left buried alive, buried alive. Ah, 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 buried alive, buried alive. Ah, 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 buried alive. We rush out from the temple, barely glancing what's behind. Harshnag is now lost, and all was in his back confined. Sebastian, our goated friend, has met the self-same grisly end. Adventure continues.
You stand on the other side of the causeway, looking at the destruction before you. The Eye of the All-Father is gone. A place of immense spiritual meaning for the giants. Destroyed. With it, your friend Harshnag, as well as the head skull of Igeron, and of course, the goat Sebastian. All gone.
I'm pretty sure I told Sebastian to wait outside just when no one was looking.
Well, in which case he didn't listen.
Oh. What about the horses? Were the horses in there as well?
No kidding.
They're all the way back in Mirabar.
Oh, okay.
They just missed getting crushed.
As you stand here, there's obviously a cold wind. You can feel the temperature drop somewhat from where you were before. What would you like to do?
Ship. We should probably say so to pay our respects.
Fine. Should we find a new goat?
No.
I mean, we can't get another goat. That seems a bit,
Yeah, that's uncouth.
Maybe a sheep or something.
That's what you're suggesting there is tantamount to when Dabov died, Luke coming along with another gnome rogue, going, "Hi, I'm Babov." Like you're just doing that. You can't.
Is that wait? Is that not what happened?
It's not what happened. He tried. No, I didn't. Yeah. Does anyone wish to say anything about your fallen comrades? Comrades.
Oh shit! I hope we didn't actually need him.
It's customary in these times, like when it was Quinch's birthday. I think it would be nice if we all went round and we all said one nice thing that we remembered or that we appreciated about both Harshnag and Sebastian. Would you like? I'll start, boys. I appreciated the fact that Harshnag showed that despite being 800 something years old, he could still show progress as a man. Like, for example, the time when I got petulant about him always telling me what to do and calling his little ones, and he took things on. He showed that growth was possible even at his age. You can teach an old dog new tricks. Something that I would like to say about Sebastian was I appreciated the way that Sebastian often helped us out, like when he went undercover in the stables in Xanthal's Keep. He wasn't just a sort of mascot. He was a valued member of the team, and some would say third best member of the circus. Who would like to speak next?
Yes, I think starting off he was just incredibly brave and wise. His stories, I could listen to them over the campfire endlessly, and even in our short time together, I learnt so much from him. And as for Harshnag, no,
so fucking predictable.
obviously, that I cope with trauma with humour sometimes. That was obviously about Harshnag. And as for the goat, whose name I've already forgotten because it's too hard. No, Sebastian was... I think Sebastian's impression will be far deeper on me the longer we go without him, but I could only look at him and be reminded of the love that we all hold for each other, and he was like the glue that held us together. And I hope that...
it's very much like glue now.
I think that's horses, but...
You make glue out of what you can, mate. Like, beggars can't be choosers.
I hope that we continue our strong bond in having lost him as strong as we were with him. He'll be missed.
Well, I enjoyed the big chap always coming along and saving our asses when we got in a little too deep, such as a moment ago in the temple. Perhaps if he was not with us, we would have been the ones falling deeply into the abyss. As for Sebastian, I always enjoyed watching him and Krill play tug of war on Mr. Mosley's legs, trying to pull it back and forth between each other. It always made me chuckle at night. And I'm going to miss that. We formed a deep bond in the end. He perhaps loved me more than all of you, but I'm sure he loved you very much.
I never saw these late night tug of wars.
I think you were too busy with the cube of many colours.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Or falling asleep in hallways.
Krill's late night tugs.
Yeah.
Davos got nuggies. Krill had tuggies.
Oh, God.
Dab off Krill. It remains one of you, both of you two.
Cool. Harshnag, obviously significantly larger than I am. I always appreciate that he went out of his way to not stand on me and give me plenty of room. Like, it was a concern, but he always made me feel safe around him, and like, he obviously protected us and looked over us literally and metaphorically, and I'll appreciate him for that. He was a welcome member of the team. And Sebastian, his hygiene was, for a goat, phenomenal. He never had shit in his fur ever. Just, I don't know how he managed it, and his teeth were just the whitest I've ever seen. And like, it sounds weird to say this, but they seemed somewhat slightly bigger than most goats' teeth. I can't explain it, but just those huge pearly whites. I'll miss that smile. Oh, that winning smile. I'm just a bit emotional right now. His face was so expressive.
Stop. MJ's gonna have a migraine.
Yeah, seriously, this is not...
Hey, no, Stuart looks like the one that's going to fucking burst.
I've never made Stuart laugh like that before. I'm so proud.
It's easy. All I have to do is insult me and it usually sets it off.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. I just use the ammo you give us.
And Krill. See us off, good friend.
Harshnag was a bit of a father figure to us all. He cared for us and kept us safe. He ensured we were always well looked after. And I'll really miss that because I've not really had that for a while. Sebastian was funny. He had a dark sense of humour, like when he would tell me to fuck off, or he wishes we never found him. It reminded me of home when he had similar jokes. didn't always see eye to eye, me and Sebastian. He was much shorter.
My mother-in-law.
But I hope they're resting in peace together.
Lovely stuff. I'm sure everyone listening, truly emotional stuff.
I mean, to be fair, I think at least 3 of us are actually crying.
Okay. So, with those words said, you look upon the pile of rubble that stands where only mere, at this point, minutes ago, you were with those that had fallen, speaking to the Oracle, finding out what information you felt was necessary to take the fight to the giants, so to speak. One of the things that you found out was that there was an airship near here. And seemingly at that time, you focused on potentially visiting the home of Countess Sansuri, one of the giant lords, a cloud giant, who lives in her castle called Lin Armal.
It's across the Evermore, that isn't it?
It is, yeah. You don't have a nailed down location, but you just know that she is there, doing unspeakable things. I believe you found out, looking for. Do you remember what she was looking for?
Historic ancient treasure.
Thank you, MJ. Historic ancient treasure, indeed. I assume the plan is still to head to Countess Sensorian, that the events of the Eye of All-Father hasn't changed that.
Yeah, I think stay the course.
Yeah.
Okay. You draw out while you were in the Eye of the All-Father. You Krill, I believe it was, came across a map which seemed to suggest that there was a town to the north of here, northeast, I think it was, to the northeast of here. Which, although the map didn't seem to be, particularly accurate from a geographical point of view, you felt that the reality was it probably was only a day's ride. It didn't look certainly the way it had been drawn to suggest it was miles and miles and miles away. You bring out your other map, your map of the north that you've been using all this time travelling, and you sort of compare and contrast, and you can see that there does indeed appear to be a few small towns and whatnot dotted around the north in this area. And so you look to set off. Now, where you are particularly right now, is there anything else you want to do before you set off? Like a short rest or anything like that? I don't know if any of you took any damage or anything.
Yeah, I could do with... I could
just for the
with
listeners, sorry. Just for the listeners, somebody's just sent a picture of a goat with giant teeth. Human teeth, seemingly. So if you hear a couple of wry laughs, that's why. Yeah, you want to rest up?
Yeah,
please. Definitely, please, yeah. Cheers.
Okay, so time-wise, you're looking at the moment, it's probably about midday-ish, late morning, early midday, sort of that time. So it would be a short rest rather than a long rest. So feel free to go ahead and take your short rest. So where you are, just to give you a sense of your location, where you are, when you arrived at the Eye of the All-Father, you were very much intent. This is what you've been looking for, right? You've been searching the north to find this temple in the first place, and you sort of rounded to some mountains, and there it was in front of you. And you didn't really take in much of the rest of the area. So intent were you on making for the temple itself. But now you take in the scenery and have a look. Essentially, you've got this ravine which you'd crossed, both going in and out, and you can see that this stretches for as far as the eye can see to the left and right of you. To the left of you, to the right of you, there appears to be mountains, and they sort of stop there being any passageway further on in that direction to the south. To the north, however, you can see that there appears to be and you don't have to know how far it travels. But on the side of the ravine where you are, you can see that there is seemingly a passageway, a path, whatever you wish to call it, that you can follow northwards towards hopefully your intended goal. And assume that that's what you wish to do, unless anyone tells me otherwise. Just going to follow the pass?
Yeah.
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 Okay. You set off, knowing that hopefully a day's ride away and you will be at your destination. You head off, and very much your travel is framed with... The passageway itself is wide enough for all of you to pass. There's no concerns. Certainly at first, there's no need for you to be sort of like shuffling along or anything like that. You can easily at times travel sort of free berth or anything like that. But very much your destination is framed with mountains to the left of you, ravines to the right.
Here we are, stuck in the middle.
Indeed. So like realistically, you do still have to be a bit careful, because obviously should you drift off towards your right, you could very much find yourself plummeting hundreds of feet to your death. And on the other side of the ravine is this mountain, what remains of it after the destruction of the Eye of the All-Father. So you're very much sort of being funneled in this one direction. Make jokes now about some of their songs, with this ravine just following you almost like a river. As you keep walking, you can suddenly feel that the temperature continues to drop, and it's almost like the wind is being sort of funneled along with you. And it reminds you of your travel towards the temple in the first place, where it was as you were traveling further and further into the north, things were becoming more and more dire, and the cold was really seeping in, and you had difficulties keeping the exhaustion at bay. And you can just feel a little bit of that just sort of nipping at the bones again, but at the moment you're okay. You've got all your heavy duty gear on. It's taking the edge off of it. The area itself is quite quiet and secluded. It's very peaceful here, and you don't see anything. You see maybe the occasional spot of nature, the occasional sort of like white hair or something like that running across you or even past you, but very much you feel secluded and a sense of solitude. You continue on for several hours until you get close to nighttime, and at which point you discover an alcove in the mountain to the west of you. And you think this is probably a good place to set up camp. It seems like this shields us from the wind a little bit in here, and you can carry on, but you've got no idea what's on further. So entirely up to you whether you want to carry on, see if there's anything there, or if you want to set up camp here for the night.
How deep is this cavern?
It's not like a cave by any means. It's just sort of more the mountains themselves seem to sort of like jut in a little bit. Right. Yeah. It's not a cave. There's not anything overhead necessarily. It's enough to see the worst of the wind travel past you rather than attacking you. Yeah,
I think we should probably rest up here then.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep, okay.
I was just concerned that if it was like the opening to a cave, you could be tunnels and whatever behind it and all sorts of danger and stuff.
No, there's nothing such as that. It's just literally like a little nick into the side of the mountains that sort of just provides you a little bit of rest and gives you a bit of distance away from the ravine as well, so that you don't know what Quinch is like in the middle of the night, where he's rolling over, tossing and turning, lots of tossing, lots of turning. Don't want him rolling down into the ravine. Okay, so you set up camp for the night. Can I get your respective perceptions, please?
What, passive, or do you want us to roll?
Roll, please. Yeah.
Oh, natural 20.
Ooh. 23.
23 for Dweezil.
13.
13. Krill, Greg.
10.
Perception's
Okay.
not great. Where's perception? 12.
12, okay. All of you pretty much get through the night unscathed. Perhaps, there's not... Thankfully, where you are, you've not got a lot to worry about. You've got a ravine there. Likelihood is, you might see the occasional bird flying up out of it or anything like that, but realistically, you're not expecting anything to come out there. So you're just checking on either pathway. So you've got a nice sort of vantage point of seeing both things happening. Sorry, both areas and anything that happens. Tweezle, with your 23, you're sitting there and you are perhaps thinking about the events of the day. What would Dweezil be doing when he's on his own in such a land?
He's. Do you know what? He's a what? Is this during watch?
Yeah, this is during your watch.
So he'd actually be quite diligent about staying perceptive and keeping an eye out. And he'd perhaps be looking at the landscape and being inspired by it, so that he can use descriptions of it or what have you in his florid language. But at the same time, he would also be being very careful to watch out for danger.
Okay. As you're doing that, you're looking around, looking at the scenery, taking everything in. As you're scanning it, you suddenly see a tree that looks a little out of place. Doesn't look like a tree that you would expect to see growing in the snowy north, in the mountains. Blink. You're in another campsite. You're not in the mountains anymore. You look around, and no, you tell me what happens. You've blinked.
Do I recognise the campsite?
Not immediately. You're sat down. Imagine you've literally just, as you're sat looking as you were at your campsite, you're somewhere else. You can see a fire. You can see that there's other things around. You can even see people asleep.
Do I recognise the people that are sleeping?
They're the other side of the fire, so you can't see them at this point. You can see. Roll me a perception.
13.
13. You can make out there's two bodies sleeping. Well, two sleeping bags, whatever you want to call them.
Can I feel the heat of the fire?
No.
I stand up and walk through the fire.
Okay, you do so. As you get to the fire, it's a weird sensation, and you, even knowing that you're here but not here, you walk through it, still somewhat surprised that you don't feel burning as you walk through it. But at the same time, as you get the other side of the fire, your attention is drawn to the two people sleeping there. Two males sleeping there. One of which is shivering and making soft murmuring noises in what can only be described as a state of sleep. The second person is laying there and sort of leans up a little bit and sort of on their elbow, sort of looking over at the second person. Do you want to go a bit closer? Okay. You walk on over and you realise that the one shivering and making noises is your father, Francis. And the other person is Mendel Sands. You look at Mendel for a second and you can see he has bags under his eyes. He doesn't look like he's slept in a long time. Perhaps. Who knows why. But he just doesn't look well rested by any means. You look at Francis, you look at your father, and for a second, you regard him as the man he is, your father, but then there's sort of a secondary emotion that kicks in, looking at him and thinking, I wonder if this is what I look like after Quinch found me. You know what you look like. There's mirrors in these worlds. You haven't seen your father much, but you can sort of see him and sort of get that familial recognition. All of a sudden, while you're taking in this scene, you hear a crunch behind you. And walking up, you see Farinal.
And second surprise of the night. There we go. Oh, what a surprise to see you here.
Oh. Good evening, my friend. It's been a while. I'm sorry for the silence. But where I am is turmoil. There's lots of fights and violence. All thanks to you and your good deed, we overthrew our queen. She was cruel and awful woman, the worst there's ever been. Despite my absence, I've kept you close. I've seen what you have done. You've lost some friends. It must be hard. But don't let the good be undone. Chin up, young man. There's lots to do. There's lots you need to achieve. And when it's done, you'll have the time you truly need to grieve. But for now, to G you up, and to show my appreciation, a vision of your father, safe from a recent location. He's not been well, but never fear, the Sands boy is his nurse, and without his protection, I fear he would have been much worse. I cannot stay, I must be gone, but before I up and go, ask of me a question of something you wish to know.
Here's my question, just for you. Is going to Countess Santoris at Linar Mile the right thing for us to do?
Good or bad? Who's to say? It's up for you to decide. But if it does not work, at least you can say, you simply tried. And he goes, blink. You're back in the mountains.
He's proper annoying.
You get through the rest of your watch. I don't know if you probably about middle of the watch, right? I don't think you would be first. I don't think you'd be last. No. Up to you whether you want to wake someone up at the end of it and talk about it, or just move on with your life.
We discussed this. In fact, it was on a recent episode that we released. When you finish your watch, it is absolutely selfish to wake other people up and talk about your troubles.
Fucking hell.
What you doing? What you thinking about? Okay. You get through your watch, you let the rest of your party play out. Do you say anything in the morning?
Yeah, I'll tell them. I'll say I had a vision last night of Mendel Sands and my father seemingly still on the road down to Nightstone. And they are safe, if somewhat tired and struggling, not because they're not seasoned adventurers. Obviously, life out on road is tough, but I think they're all right.
Okay,
that's good news.
Anyone react to that? Good news.
Yeah, glad to hear it.
Cool story, bro.
Right, as you wake up, all of you, can I get a Constitution saving throw, please?
Ooh, from everyone.
Oh yeah, from all of you.
Bit out of order, mate, but all right.
Oh,
25,
I'm going to
matey.
G myself up with a
14.
inspiration.
14. 18. What was yours, Dweezil? Did you get one?
7.
So 13 plus. I'm bardic inspiration in it.
Okay, what was yours, Greg?
7, but I may use one of my Tides of Chaos or whatever it's called to re-roll it.
All right, I'll give you just to help you decide. It's a DC 13 that I'm looking for.
All right, yeah, I got it. I got 15 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll use some of my sorcery points and re-roll it. Oh, it gives me advantage, so that's what it does. Sorry.
Which, yeah, gives you a second roll then, I guess.
Oh, that's great. I got 8 this time.
Okay. Greg. You are just the torment of seeing Harshnag and Sebastian, and probably for you, Igeron. You're just devastated, and in your state of emotional despair, the wind just kicks in, and you take 1 level of exhaustion. I'm afraid.
Fucking hell, that's. I think one level of exhaustion is not.
It's just
What's the word? No, but what's the word? Not underrated, but it's like
Overrated.
that is tough. Like, you think, oh, it's not that bad, but it is pretty tough. Like,
Yeah.
it's just ability. It's just advantage on ability checks. It's fine. That's fine. So even second level's like half speed. That's where it starts kicking in. Right. Anyway, you get up, pack up camp, carry on heading northwards. After travelling a couple of hours or so, you can see that the ravine sort of comes to a bit of a sort of point and a stop And you can see now that the land itself joins across with the mountains on the east of you. And so the ravine is something that you don't need to worry about anymore. You just have this still long sort of passageway heading northwards. You continue walking onwards. Obviously, stop me if at any point there's anything you want to do. But as you continue on, after a short while, you notice something up ahead of you. It's fairly large. It's an object. I'll give you that much. It's an object. It's fairly large, and it's probably about 4 foot, 5 foot long. Do you wish to investigate? Do you wish to go further? Do you wish to try and give it a wide berth?
When you say an object,
something in the floor.
Something in the floor,
as in laying on the floor.
No idea as to kind of shape.
Long.
It's a giant turd.
Yeah, like what
Let's
do we
go and have
stand
a
to
look at
benefit? Yeah, what do we stand to benefit? But I mean,
all of you going to investigate?
Yeah.
We're not going to split up, are
Yeah.
we? Can we send Vin?
Yeah, can do.
Have you got Vin? Vin, did you recharge Vin?
Yeah,
He
I think.
died.
Didn't we have a long rest in the place? I'm sure I resummoned him.
Okay.
Like afterwards, whatever the next long rest was.
Fine. You send Vin up?
Yeah, just to sort of fly over the top, but not
Okay.
touch it or anything, or get too close.
He flies forward and it's about 50 feet away from you, something like that, so it stays within your range. And are you looking through his eyes, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I think Dabov's going to kind of squat down, sort of like take cover, like make himself as sort of
Small
unnoticeable as possible. And then, yeah, I'll directly control Bin, I think.
Okay. You do so, and you fly overhead, and as you get closer and closer and closer, you eventually see that this appears to be a large harpoon. What an exceptional episode of Dyson Desire that was. I can't decide if my favourite part was when Quinch said the inappropriate thing, Dweezil scolded them all for being silly billies, or Greg just didn't know what was going on. Great stuff. Anyway, thanks for listening, and if you've enjoyed this, why don't you come and find us on social media, where you can interact with us on a daily basis and share some of your favourite parts. Or you can tell some friends and family, hopefully they listen, and that will help our visibility and even more people will find us. Or, finally, if you have any spare change that Krill doesn't know about, and you want to support us financially, no pressure, then why don't you head on over to Ko-fi and you can do just that. Right, I'm off. But, like Daboff, I will see you in a few days, whether you like it or not. Ciao!